Hey people, whoa, the internet is raving. There's so much buzz on the internet. And it's interesting why all of this is taking place because, as far as I know, Africa, Nigeria in particular, people usually don't frown at polygamy. Polygamy to an average Nigerian is a normal thing. Even though people don't come out openly, even they do it quietly, silently. You see one man officially has one wife and maybe sometimes 7 concubines hidden all over. Some of them, they do it in different states. But now, it's less than 48 hours that Edochie, one of the popular Nigerian Nollywood actors, came out openly to announce the birth of his son and his second wife. And what I found fascinating about that announcement is that his first wife, actually responded, meaning that she was not happy about this. She's still not happy about the arrangement because what she said there at May Edochie is that God will judge the two of you. God will judge the two of you. And you see, when a woman is unhappy and she's bitter, especially a woman who has toiled with a man from the scratch, it is said that hell hath no fury. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. So when you scorn a woman, when you throw caution to the wind, when you don't take the feelings of your wife, the wife of your youth, and the feelings of her children into consideration, you want to do you. You want to be extremely selfish. You want to behave like a child, where you want all kinds of people to reprimand you. Then be ready to bear the consequences. So the question now remains, Edochie has announced officially that he has a second wife. The question now remains, the young lady whose name is Judy, could it be that she couldn't find her own contemporary, a single man that she would get married to start life all together from the scratch with? Or is it an intentional thing that a lot of these side chicks, they are not playing anymore. They are not interested in building with a man. Whilst a few women who are committed, who are ready to start with a man from the scratch, whilst they are busy building, planting, praying, crying, staying awake, suggesting ideas, building, putting all the pillars of the family in place in order to solidify it. The side chicks are there waiting after the woman has finished building, after 18 years, 20 years, 25 years, 28 years, 30 years, some 40 years. They now strike. They now strike without looking back, without thinking about how the woman, the first wife, is hurting, without thinking about the impact on the children of the marriage, without thinking about the marriage vows. And there's something I would like to say to my viewers also. The side chicks are not there because they want to be second wives. The side chicks are there because they want to take a lion's share of the cake. They are usually not there because they want to be second wives. They are there to take everything, but they come in a subtle way, pretending as if they know that the man is married. So they come in a subtle way, misleading the man into thinking that they really want to be a second wife. But the intention originally is to take everything, to push the first wife out of the picture and then to take over the life of the man. Usually they know that the first wife, she will not be able to condone the new lifestyle that her husband has introduced, the new lifestyle that he has introduced, without actually introduced to her publicly. According to this woman, the husband did the traditional marriage on a Friday. She got to hear about it on Sunday. So it's possible that the husband may have deliberately been untruthful by saying to her that he was traveling, or it depends. I don't know. Maybe usually when there is a new side chick in the picture, you see usually the men start misbehaving. They start finding the wife of their youth quite irritable. She now becomes very ugly. She now becomes a suspect number one that wants to kill him or wants to eliminate him. She now becomes the one who is holding to his progress. So he comes up with all kinds of deliberate lies to cover up his evil. He becomes manipulative. He tries to even turn the children against their mothers. But he forgets that while he was out there gallivanting, sleeping with all the side chicks without any form of protection, the wife of his youth has been the one that has remained back, holding the family together, holding the children together so that the children won't break down emotionally and psychologically. But because he is manipulative, because of his narcissistic nature, because he wants to eat his cake and have it, he doesn't care who in his bid, in his extreme selfishness to get what he wants, forgetting that it is not everything that he wants that is really something that he needs, that will be needful for him, of any importance to him. So in his bid to exhibit that extreme selfishness, he doesn't care who he pulls down while trying to do that. He doesn't care who he pulls down. So the question remains, if truly the side chick, or this Judy Austin, or whatever she calls herself, if truly she genuinely loves this man, will she want to create this problems in his marriage or in the stable life that he had been living for over 18 years? Will she not take his 4 children into consideration? All the times that she has taken this man away from his wife, will she do it? If 18 years ago, 20 years ago, when this man was nothing, she had met with him, will she immediately get pregnant for him, even knowing that he is a married man? Of course she will not. So you see, most times the way these side chicks and side hens, the way they operate, they only want financial stability. They want fame. They want financial stability. That's all that intrigues them about a man. Recently, my brother was saying to me that one of the things that side chicks, they look out for in a man, one of the things that puts a man in danger, is when a man is driving a flashy car. There are a lot of side chicks, whether you have money or you don't have money. Once you are driving an SUV, you are driving an expensive car, all they just want, just put them inside that car, drive them around, let their friends just see them that they are driving in an SUV. That's all, some of them. So the attraction, it's not the man per se, but what are the things that the man is able to offer them? Expensive cars, pay their rent, take them shopping, take them to different expensive restaurants, buy them drinks, buy them gifts. That's because they know that their contemporaries, the young men their age, may not be able to afford these luxuries. So they don't go for those young men. The young men are there. They really want to settle and they really want to get married. But these side chicks don't have the time of these young men. And tell you what, a lot of these side chicks, they don't roll with just one married man. No, they don't. They don't roll with just one married man. They roll with so many, at least 2, 3, 4, 5 married men at the same time. They have the ones that buys them tickets to go abroad. They have the ones that pays for their hospital bills when their mom is sick in hospital. They have the ones that pays their rent. There are some of them, they are so loose. They have the ones, the meat sellers in the market that gives them free meat when they go to do shopping and free rice and groundnut oil when they go to do shopping. Yes, it's as bad as that. How did I know? When I was in the university, there was this lady that was in the same hostel with me. She had a boyfriend who sells rice, where she goes and takes rice free of charge. She has another one who is a meat seller, where she goes and gets meat. She was an undergraduate in my school then. Yes. So it's possible. These things are possible. So the question now remains, if something happens to you, Edochie now, will this Judy Austin be able to stand with him and for him? History has it that in cases such as this, these gold-digging women, they don't stand the test of time. They cannot stand challenges. They are not there to suffer for you or with you. They are not there to give anything to you. They are not resourceful. They are not bringing anything to the table. The only thing they are bringing to the table is fashion and sex and figure eight. It is interesting that, because if you look at even this woman, Yul Edochie's first wife, compare the first wife and this woman now he calls the second wife. That's when you understand that men have serious problems. That's when you understand. The first wife who has had 4 children, compare her with the one now that he's gone to take on as the second wife. You know that men, their greed drives, when that spirit of greed takes over them, they become like babies. They become like babies. They become like babies. Compare and contrast the one that already has 4 children, that has gone through all the storms of life with this man, that has gone through sleepless nights, that has gone into to have childbirth. There are lots of women who don't come out when they go into the labor room, but she went there 4 times and God spared her life. She's known him when there was no food to eat, when there was only water to drink. She's known him when there was lack. There were times she would use her own money to prepare the little food, even when he knew he knows that there's nothing in the house, and then they will still come home and be rest assured that there will be little food in the house. The challenges, the cries, the tears, the sleepless night, the planning together, the building together, the praying together, the hopes and aspirations, the hard work, and most importantly, the marriage vow. In the presence of friends and family, the 2 of them said, I do, that they will be together for better and for worse, to the exclusion of all others. So that a man will come recklessly and break that marriage vows on the internet without thinking about how the wife is going to hurt, without thinking about how his action is going to affect his children. What's the children's friends? What are they going? There are some children, they are so cheeky. When they see their friends that misbehaving, they can actually take that video and bring it to school and start taunting the children. And directly or indirectly, we are raising damaged children because of our conduct, because of fathers who are never present. You join together, you decide to marry a woman, the 2 of you decide to bring children into the world. Halfway through, you abandon the woman and her children. You are running in the streets, going from hotel to hotel, carrying everything in skirts, and then you leave the raising of the children to the woman. You leave the raising of, you are not there present in the life of the children to control them, to comfort them, to give them love and affection, to give them a word of counsel and admonition, to direct them, to be there in their life so they can take some examples from you. At least they can remember some times that they spent with you when they grow up or when they have left home, to say, this was what my daddy looked like when we were growing up. There's no memory. Every memory that you have, the children have of you, is always when you were away with a side chick. Perhaps under the false pretense that you are going on a movie, you are going to shoot a movie, you are traveling to look for money, you are taking care of it, but you forget that money is not everything. And a lot of the times, it's not because you cannot make the money from the home, but because you want to be married and still be a bachelor at the same time, deceiving yourself. So the question now remains, If something happens to you, Edochie now, let's say all the little money he has, because I don't understand when people say a lot of people, everybody now in Nigeria is a billionaire. Everybody on Instagram in Nigeria now is a billionaire. And yet Nigeria is quoted as being the one of the poverty capital of the world. Everybody now is they build a 3-bedroom bungalow or a 4-bedroom house, and they say they have spent billions in building that house. So with all the billions or the millions that Edochie has, let's say, for example, he's not able to afford all the things that the so-called second wife desires. He's not able to pay her rent. He's not able to move around in a flashy car anymore. Or he's bedridden, God forbid. We don't wish him evil, but I'm just saying, because these things happen. Or say they call her today that he's bedridden, he's critical in hospital, and he's pulling on himself and cannot fit. For how long is she going to stand by him? That's the question. So when we are making choices and we are making decisions, we must be futuristic. It's not about, the white man religion, it's monogamy. We're Africans, we're polygamists. It's not about that. It's about the decisions that you are making in life. How does that affect you? How does that affect the people around you? You see, there's a time, what makes a man is the ability for the man to understand that there's a stage in his life when he is a leader, he begins to make sacrifices. He begins to say no to certain things, no matter how pleasurable they may seem. He begins to be able to decipher between what he needs and what he wants. A lot of times, what you want as a man can destroy you. Go for what you need. That is what makes you a man. If you can differentiate between what you need and what you want, that is what makes you a man. It is not running around, carrying everything in skirt, coming to announce your marriage on the internet to break the heart of your wife of so many years and your children. That is not what makes you a man. It only just shows how childish and how callous you are. The question now, have you asked yourself, let's say the little money you have, everything vanishes, your flashy car, everything. Say you are coming to that Judy Austin's house with one keke marwa. For how long is she going to entertain you? But your first wife has been tested and tried, even when you did not have beg your pardon, when you did not have a car, she stood by you. That is purpose. That is what we understand by being a man. Being a man is a man who understands purpose, a man who understands who he should carry along on his journey of life in order to achieve that purpose in life. Don't gamble with your life. Don't gamble with just about any woman. And then you claim that you want to be a man by living recklessly and coming up to say, yes, what can my wife do? What can my children do? That's not what makes you a man. That's not what makes you a man. That's being childish. That's being insensitive. What makes you a man is how sensitive you are to the needs of your loved ones. And so when you are sensitive to the needs of your loved ones and how your character and your conduct will impact the younger people who are looking up to you, then you become cautious in making decisions and in making choices. That's what makes you a man. It is not the matter. If you want to marry 5 wives today, you can marry 5 wives. That's not what makes you a man. That's not what makes you a man. What makes you a man is ability to make sacrifices, ability to have discipline and self-control, ability to be futuristic, ability to understand purpose, knowing that it is not everything that you want. It is not everything that you desire that is actually beneficial to you. That is what makes you a man. And so the little resources that you have, you begin to spread it about. This is what creates poverty. This is why the poverty rate in Africa is so high. Polygamy. That is why the rate of prostitution and school dropouts is so high. Polygamy. Because the fathers, as they play around and they have children for every baby mama, they are not there to take care of these children. You see a 70-year-old man going to marry an 18-year-old girl, and the girl starts raising children. By the time the man is 90, the man is gone. The kids they've still not even entered into the university. And their mother, because she has always looked up to a sugar daddy to pay her bills, she's not skilled, she's not resourceful, she cannot invest or do any business. She pushes those kids right into the streets. And they begin to fend for themselves. Some of them end up becoming armed robbers. Some of them end up becoming prostitutes. Some of them end up, again, sleeping with other married men, breaking other people's homes, and doing all sorts in order to tie down a man who has struggled with his wife for years, and then causing that man to abandon his wife and his children just because they are desperate. They want to run away from poverty. So the question remains, for that side chick or that second wife or that third wife that you want to marry, how deep is her love for you? How deep is her loyalty to you? How deep is her commitment to you? How deep? What is she bringing to the table? Apart from sex. I saw something that somebody got, I think one of the bloggers, they said something, she responded to, or maybe they went on her page and she wrote something, just shows that empty, nothing, empty. Oh, that she loves relationship. If a relationship doesn't work, you can move to another one. Nothing, empty head, nothing. People that you cannot sit down with and have an intellectual conversation with. All they do is to use their body to hold down what another woman has built. Now, it's no longer time to say, I leave you to God, married women. You need to be on top of your game. Enough is enough. Because the game of life now, it has become the game of survival of the fittest. You cannot, after building with a man, after suffering with a man, one brainless gold digger now comes to now want to forcefully take over what you have built. And then you say, leave it to God. We've been leaving it to God for over how many years? He did not end anybody anywhere. It's time to take back what belongs to you. It's time to take back what belongs to you. No, it's no longer time to leave it to God. A woman told me of a story of how a colleague of hers lost her husband to a buka owner. The man used to go to eat buka during lunchtime when he goes to work. And before you knew it, because the buka woman already knew that he was going to come. That's why men, be careful. When you keep patronizing restaurants, keep patronizing bukas, every time one particular buka, they know that you are going to come. They know when you are going to come. So they prepare. So this woman got herself prepared. And then before you know, he got himself entangled with this buka woman, left his educated wife, left his psychedelic wife, moved in with this buka woman, transformed the buka woman, changed her buka to now, a high-class restaurant, moved in with the man, didn't want to have anything to do with his wife anymore. And the wife said, I'll leave it to God. Leave it to God. And she kept on praying. She used to attend MFM and she prayed and prayed and prayed and fasted and prayed and prayed and prayed. She almost had ulcer where she was fasting and praying and leaving it to God. While the man who she had suffered with and everything was busy spending his resources on this strange woman. He never married her officially, but he lived with her for more than 10 years until he died. When he was on his sick bed, The first wife received a call one day to say, oh, I don't know what is wrong. Oh, he's been sick. Oh, I've been taking him to every hospital. He's not getting better. We're at so and so place. Come and meet him. Oh. That's when she remembered that the man has a wife. By the time the wife got there, he died. He had already given up the ghost. What did she do? Remember, for this 10 years, she's been wearing her wedding ring, making everybody believe that she's married, living a lie. While the man was busy gallivanting with a strange woman that he has no history with outside. She was busy building, raising the children to give them a little bit of stability, while the man was living a life of a vagabond out there. And he died like a chicken. She was graceful enough. One good thing about women is that God has given them that heart of love and forgiveness. She forgave him even in death. Brought him, because at this time, God was blessing her. God was blessing her. She had built so many houses in Abuja, in the Asokoro area. She brought, and then she was saying to people, since he did not agree to come home when he was alive, we're not going to leave him now to a strange woman. Let's bring him home. Let him come and rest finally. So she brought him home to rest finally. She buried him in front of her house. So that's one among so many stories of how men end in the hands of strange women, in the hands of gold diggers, in the hands of women who are only there to kill, to steal, and to destroy. Now, the question remains, if take away the fame, take away the money, take away the car and the buildings, whatever it is that, I don't know how rich this guy is, so just take away everything. Give this guy, Edochie, to this Judy, empty like that. Is she going to take him? Is she going to be able to stand by him? Is she going to continue to love him? Is she going to profess that love? Or she will abandon him to be with another man? That is the big question. And why is that question important? Because it's important that as a man or as a woman, you know who you carry along on your journey of life to help you fulfill purpose. Because tomorrow is big. Anything can happen tomorrow. You can lose everything that you have tomorrow. Is she going to stand by you? You can lose all the fame and all. Is she going to stand by you? So it's important that you understand and you know the people that you that obviously you want to carry along your journey of life. It is important and necessary. So it's not enough to say polygamy is part of our African culture and everything. What is the advantage? Tell me one single advantage of polygamy. Tell me any family where polygamy thrived, where they had peace, they had riches, they had togetherness and cooperation and everything from their heart. Tell me. All that polygamy brings is poverty, rancor, division, suspicion, rivalry, envy, sometimes death for the man, and then most times disloyalty. The moment you take on a second wife, that loyalty that your first wife used to have with you again is gone. So there's suspicion, there's lack of loyalty, there's no trust. Remember, the second wife or the side chick, she's not even loyal to you in the first place. She's just there for business. She's just there to grab as many things as possible. How did I know? How will I not know? Are there no men her age? Are there no men her contemporaries who don't have anything that she can start life with? Why does it have to be a married man? That's how I know. So you see the intention. The intention is not a genuine intention. The intention is to grab as many things as possible from the man. And remember, the intention also is not to be the man's second wife. The intention is to do everything possible to push the first wife away so that she can take over. But this same kind of woman, when she takes over and the man goes on to the third one, you will see her, she will start fighting kitty kata. She will start fighting. You will realize that the second wives are almost the most dangerous, the most vicious, and the most envious. Because it is greed originally that brought them to that relationship. So they don't, when they see a third woman coming in, they fight with everything and they are diabolic. Even though originally they were not the ones that was there, that they were not the ones there that built the man when he had nothing. So the question now remains, you, Edochie, ask yourself, if you lose everything today, God forbid, is that Judy going to be there for you and with you? If they call her today to say you are bedridden and you need her to change your diapers, to put you on the wheelchair, to move you around, to feed you, for how long is she going to be able to do that? These are very good questions that men have to be asking themselves. But I am 100% sure that if anything happens to you now, you lose everything, you are bedridden, your first wife will be there for you. How did I know? Because she's done it before. She's been tested and tried. And she passed the examination. You tested her 18 years ago, 19 years ago, when you had nothing. You said it yourself on social media that you told her you had nothing. She said you people can manage. So she's been tested and tried, and she qualified. If you lose everything today, will this Judy be there for you? Will she be there for you and with you? 90% of the times, no, she will not. A woman was told a story, I think it happened in Lagos, about her philandering husband. He carries women everywhere. When he goes on holidays abroad, buys things. As he's buying for her, he's buying for all the girlfriends. And then he had a stroke and God helped him. He came out of the stroke, but he was paralyzed. So she was now left with a big challenge of having to clean him up, change his diapers and everything. And it just occurred to her that, hang on a minute, all these side chicks that have been enjoying this man with me all these years, where are they? Now they are not calling anymore. How come I'm the one carrying this man? No, I will call them. I'll check through this man's phone. They must come, and they enjoyed all his money with me. So they must, now that there are challenges, they must come and be changing him, change his diapers, clean his poo and everything, and feed him. They enjoyed this man with me. And she managed to get at least 3 of them. Made it look as if it was the man that was inviting them to the house. And when she looked at his phone, they had been sending text messages, WhatsApp messages. Where are you? You said you were going to travel. Did you buy me the gift? Blah, blah, blah. I've been calling you. You're not responding. So she responded, come on. So she spread it out, the 3 of them. Come on, so and so date. And as they were coming in, she locked the door. Here is your sugar daddy. He's bedridden. I've been the one cleaning him up, doing everything, feeding him. You've been enjoying him with me, enjoying his money, enjoying his time. It buys things for you when he goes abroad. So you might as well come and face the challenges also. Come and clean poo, carry poo, feed him, prepare lunch. Your time starts now. So you're spending the whole day today. You close at 9 p.m. and then you put him to bed and you go. And then they want to say, no, hey, this is how to arrest. You can't lock me yourself. Say, sorry. You take care of him. That was how she did it. And there was a camera. She put a camera there. And as the side chicks will be cleaning, they will be doing, yeah, the poo is smelling. But these were the things that the wife had been doing for months. Trying to nurture that man back to life. She never felt irritable. She forced them to do it. And after she finished with all of them, she took the video and she was showing the man where they were making, the poo is smelling. It's like when you were eating the man's money, you didn't know. Now poo is smelling. So how many of those side chicks will be there for you in your time of need? If you fall sick today, if you are bedridden, if something happens to you, if you lose your job, you lose all your money. Because life happens. Don't ever think that, oh, it will not happen. Life happens. Will they be there for you? You better understand purpose and stick to the one that you already know. rather than you going to put your hands into the unknown. It is a dangerous game that a lot of you men are playing, especially you Nigerian men. It is a dangerous game. Now, my advice to women, does it really make sense anymore to put in everything from the scratch for a man who has nothing? And after building with the man, 20 years down the line, 25 years down the line, the man abandons you to go and bring another woman to come and eat the fruit of your labor. Begin to think about it. Is it really, really worth it? It used to be worth it in them days when the fear of God was in people, when people had conscience, when people were not as wicked as they used to be. But in this day and time where wickedness has taken over the world, where selfishness has taken over the world, where a man can wake up, you don't need to annoy him. He decides to pick his things. He will not look back. He will not think about you. He will not think about the children. He will not think about how you suffered with him from the scratch. And then he just decides to do a runner without the fear of God, without thinking about consequences. Where a man wakes up after 18 years of marriage, comes up on the internet to announce that he has a son and a second wife, without thinking about how he will hurt his wife and his children. So these are dangerous times. Young girls begin to think, is it really worth it to stand by a man who has nothing? Because you can never know the character of a man who has nothing. You can never know the character of a poor man. The humblest man that you see upon the face of the earth is a broke man. When a man is broke, he can lick your feet. He can pretend. You can never know his character. He will be the humblest and the gentlest and the most loyal. If he tells you he's in Tesco, he's in Tesco. If he tells you he's at IKEA, he's there. He will honor you and respect you because he's broke. But you begin to know and to see the true character of a man when he begins to make money. And you know the most dangerous one are the ones that have not even seen any money before, that you start building from the scratch with them. The day they begin to see a little, their head becomes swollen. They now turn against you. They now look for all kinds of lies to tell against you, to conspire against you in order to justify their ungodly action. They turn against you. And when they want to turn, they don't look back. And they have their supporters who are like them. And do you know why men like that, they have their supporters? Because the supporters never ever expected that since you came into the life of the man, God transformed his life. So they want the man to go back to the lowest where they knew him before. They have been jealous of his relationship since that woman came into his life. That's why he has so many supporters, because they want him to fail. They are setting him up to fail. But he is thinking that he has supporters. He's thinking that he has supporters. A woman was telling me how the husband abandoned her and the children, relocated back to Nigeria, built a house, put a wife there, started raising another family there. By the time she discovered, all his siblings, all the friends who used to come to their house to eat, to party, that she tried to call them, everybody turned their back on her. And then she started asking herself, oh my God, not even one single support, not even one single word of encouragement from them. So the question remains, ladies, is it beneficial in this day and time to stand by a man, to stand by a broke man, to say you want to support a man, to say you want to build from the scratch with a man? Then after building, after years of toiling, after years of building, even his family members will now come and tell you that they were the ones that trained him. The family members will support him and ask him to push you out because they are interested in taking everything from him. The side chicks are interested in taking everything from him. So you see enemies throwing arrows onto you and your children from left, right, and center. For what? Because of the good seeds you have sown, thinking that you are building with a man. So when next you want to start building with a broke man, you have to be futuristic. Ask yourself questions. Is it really worth it to stand by a man? From everything we are hearing that is going on the internet, look at you, Edochie. His wife started with him from 18 years ago. Now he has abandoned her to be with another woman. The lady from Mercy Aigbe, the husband started with the wife in, with 4 children. After they started from the scratch, he abandoned the wife and the children in America. Now he's living in the house that the woman built, took in Mercy Aigbe there, doing big man. What about the other man from Canada who abandoned his wife and children and relocated to Nigeria to go and marry an Instagram slay queen? Took all the resources. It is said that that man actually has been taking things back to Nigeria, took all the resources to go and be. So there are so many other stories like that. It is said that if you don't learn from the mistake of others, you will one day become part of the statistics. So looking at everything now, it will not be out of place to say that a lot of men have very short memory span. They don't remember things that happened in the past. They are all about now, 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 now. As far as their male organ is into the private part of that new side chick, every other thing that happened in their past life, it is just wiped off. They don't want to know. So the question now, is it viable? Is it a viable venture? Or is it dangerous to invest into the life of a broke man? Ladies, think about it. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you very much.